Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna try to do a quick and snappy intro because this video might be a long one. But today, obviously, you know by the title, I'm doing 3 looks using the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. I'm not gonna go too into depth with what I'm gonna say because I talk about it at the end of the video. But I love this. I have loved using this. I think it's so beautiful and impeccably formulated, and I'm maybe becoming a Pat McGrath stan. I don't know. Pray for me. But yeah, I honestly, I've been so busy doing lab work that I can't actually remember the looks that I've done using this palette. So I guess we'll find out together coming up. And that's all I have to say. This was a horrible intro, so let's just hop right into the look, shall we? Okay, hello and welcome to the first look of this video. I'm so excited. So we're just gonna fucking dive right in. I'm gonna start out with the shade Venusian Orchid, and I'm just going to place this in my crease as my transition shade. And I have set my lids and primed my eyes with the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base, and that is the same for every single look in this video. Now I'm going to take the shade Venomous Void, and I'm going to put this in my outer corner and my crease. Now I'm going to take the shade Major Mahogany, and I'm going to put that in my outer corner and my crease as well. Unfortunately, I think the crease shades, crease work for all of these looks is going to be pretty similar, pretty consistent, just because there's only 3 matte shades in this palette. I might switch it up a little bit, but it's not like they're going to be wildly different. So for the other 2 looks, if I do the same thing, I might just skip over it, because you've already seen how these shades perform at least once, and then again more than once if you watch my first impression. So, and I'm going to take the same brush that I used Venomous Void on and blend Major Mahogany out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my crease, and then we'll be right back. All right, I am back. So I'm going to take a dab of Venomous Void, run that over the edges of the concealer, and also put this a little bit on my lid as well. And I'm going to repeat the same step with Major Mahogany and use that to deepen the outer corner. Now for the best part, I'm going to take the shade Odyssey right here. This is like a deeper purple to green duochrome. And I'm gonna spray that, and I'm gonna put that on the middle of my lid. shade was quite crumbly, but now I'm going to take the shade Galactic Gold. This is a lighter gold shade with a light, very slight, almost green undertone, green shift to it. I'm going to take that on the same brush, but I just like wiped it off. And I sprayed that as well, and I'm going to put that on the inner part of my eyelid. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Odyssey shade on the other side of the brush just to blend them together. Just so beautiful and reflective. I love it. And I'm going to take each shade on my finger and intensify the shadow a little bit more, because I really do think that these shades show up best with your finger. And now I'm just going to, again, speed through my lower lash line. I'm just going to take the shade Venomous Void all along my lower lash line and blend that out. And I'm going to take the shade Major Mahogany all along my lower lash line, close to my lashes, and then blend that out. Now I'm going to take the shade Venusian Orchid and use that to blend out my lower lash line. And I'm also going to take a tap of that Venusian Orchid shade and run that all along the very edges of the shadow on my lid as well. Which I would be careful to blend around these shades, because I think anytime you blend them, they're going to just kind of go everywhere. So I would say do your blending and then put these shades on your lid. And now on the inner part of my lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Megabyte. It's this olive green. I feel like my hand might have been covering that. Again, same brush that I used on my lid, but I just wiped it off. I'm going to take a little bit of that and spray it. And just put this right here. And then because there isn't really a shade that's good for me for a inner corner highlight in this palette, I'm just going to use my face highlighter. This is the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Flexitarian. And I'm going to take a tiny amount of this on my brow bone as well. Alright, and that's basically the eyes done. So I'm going to hop off camera, do liner, lashes, lips, and then we will be back to conclude. Okay, and this is the look finished. I put the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Besto in my waterline. This is like the perfect tone and color of liner I feel for this palette. And I put a little bit of black in my outer corner. I used the Pat McGrath Single Shadow in Dark Matter. On my lips I have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. I love this look. I love these shades. They're so pretty. Definitely crumbly. So be wary of fallout, although I feel like I don't have that much fallout considering, but definitely use like a glitter glue or wet your shadow or something, otherwise you're gonna get sparkles all over your face. But I wet my brush and I really don't have that much fallout. Just be wary of it. These shades are so beautiful. They're so sparkly and delicious. I absolutely love this. Pink and green, I feel like I love the way they go together. Even though I have a pink and a green on my lids together, they blended really well. I'm a super, super huge fan of this. I won't talk any longer, so we can just move into the next look. Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to look number 2. Today I'm going to use some of like the more reddy tones, orangey tones in this palette. Is it the same shape and placement as my other look? Yes. But shh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, I'm just probably going to skip through, like I said, my crease again because you've already seen it twice already. So I'll just whiz through it. So I'm going to put Venusian Orchid in my crease as a transition shade. And now I'm going to take Venomous Void again in my crease and my outer corner. And now I'm going to take Major Mahogany and put that in my outer corner of my crease as well, just to deepen things up once again. Okay, so now that I have my crease basically done and all blended, I'm going to quickly cut my crease and then we'll rejoin to do the lid. Okay, so my crease is cut. Okay, so I cut my crease as best as I can, and I am just going to go over the edges of the shadow with a little more Venomous Void. Put some of that on my lid as well. And I'm going to do the same thing with Major Mahogany and deepen up my outer corner. Alright, so now for the lid shades, I'm going to go in with the shade Saturnalia, which is the metallic red. I'm going to spray it and I'm going to put that on the middle of my lid. Oh, this shade is one of the shades that I was most excited about. I think it's so beautiful. And the shade, which I didn't realize before, has like pink, like shimmers, pink sparkles in it that gives it almost like a pink like shift. It's so fucking pretty. I can't even handle my own self. And now I'm going to go in with another anticipated shade, the shade Dragonfly. This is like the red-green duochrome shade in here. I think this is going to be so pretty. I'm so excited. I'm going to spray this as well and put that, you guessed it, on the inner part of my lid. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And the more I use this palette, the more I really do think that these shimmers are special. And I realize that they're not even her like quote-unquote special shades, but like the way that they catch the light and the way that they just shift and look on your eyelids. And then I'm going to take Saturnalia on the other side of the brush and just flip the brush back and forth, blend these two shades together. So I'm going to take another, like the very slight dab of Venomous Void and just merge that onto my lid into the shimmers. Like just a little. I'm just want to blend them a touch. And then I'm going to go in with my fingers and intensify these shades. I'm going to take Saturnalia first. Oh, I could cry. And then I'm going to go into Dragonfly. Wow. And then I'm going to go into Venusian Orchid one more time and just blend over the edges of the shadow. Again, we're just going to whiz through the lower lash line. I'm going to take Venomous Void, put that all along my lower lash line and blend it out. And now I'm going to take Major Mahogany and put that all along my lower lash line and blend that out with the pencil brush. And then blend all that out with Venusian Orchid. And now I'm going to take the shade Corruption. It's down here. It's this like red copper shifting shade. It's really pretty. I was going to use a different one, but I want to pull in a little bit more of the red tones in this palette. So I'm going to take that on the same brush, just again wipe it off, spray it. And I'm going to put this on my lower lash line right near my tear duct. So for my inner corner, I'm going to use the palette that I used for my face highlight. This is the Makeup Addiction Cosmetics Holy Glow Volume 1 palette. On my face, I used the shade Sunkissed. It's just this like champagne shade. But for my inner corner, I'm actually going to use the shade White Diamond. It's a white just to really brighten everything up. Maybe I should have sprayed this shade because there's a hella fallout right now. And I'm gonna put a little dab of that on my brow bone as well. Okay, so that's basically my eyes done. I'm gonna hop off camera, do lashes, liner, lips, and then we'll be back to conclude. Okay, and this is the finished look. I'm so in love with these shades. Like I said, it looks like Christmas on my lid. They're so sparkly. They're so beautiful. Now it's kind of the point where I wish maybe there was one other matte shade in this palette. I really am so scared of finishing these mattes. Like, I feel like because there's 3 mattes that I use, I'm worried that I'm just gonna like run through them. But that's just like my thoughts upon using this palette. But I just think that these shades are so beautiful. I love this palette so much. I'm so happy with it. The only thing is, because again, I'm gonna do something different for the next look, but I feel like because there are only 3 matte shades, a lot of the looks maybe are gonna look a little bit similar with a little bit of variation. Because now I feel like maybe this looks kind of similar to maybe the other look that I did. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This Saturnalia shade is one of my new favorite eyeshadows ever. It's so beautiful. Oh, I didn't even tell you what I used. Jesus Christ. So in my waterline, I used the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Venus. It's a red. I just wanted to like tie in the red tone on my lid a little bit. And I also used on my lips Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Diamond Milk. I felt like I had a lot going on my eyes, so I just wanted to do total nude. And now let's move on to the third and final look. Hello everyone, welcome to the third and final look of this video. So again, we're just gonna rush through this, not rush, skip over this crease work. Apologies if the lighting is bad. It now turns dark here at 3:45. So if I want to film anytime in the afternoon, it's gonna be dark and my ring light is just blaring at me. Anyway, I'm gonna use the shade Venusian Orchid in my crease as my transition shade. I've been running incubation experiments in the lab this week and I haven't put makeup on at all. And I've been waking up so early. I have to go in, like I have to be in the lab at 7 in the morning, and so I haven't been putting makeup on at all and I haven't filmed at all. And so today it's Sunday and I was like, I just gotta, and I feel so good. I've missed it so much. And I'm going to take the shade Venomous Void again and put that all in my crease. Okay, and so now I'm going to do a little bit of a different shape. I'm going to take the shade Smoked Amethyst. It's this dark purple that has a black base to it. And I think I can use this as a matte if I tap off the glitters. So I'm going to use this just in my outer corner because I'm not totally sure how it's going to go. And so I'm going to focus this on my outer corner, and I might bring this into my crease a little bit if it doesn't look too shimmery. And it actually does look like it's doing what I want it to. So I'm going to pull this through my crease as well. I've decided. Okay, so I put that through my crease and it blended out really well. There may be like the slightest sheen to that, but not really. It basically performs as a matte, which I really appreciate because it adds another deep matte that's not... It adds another deep matte. And so you can get like a fully more purple look rather than blending that like warmer brown into the crease. While it does work, I do like to have the option of using this shade. I think it's really pretty. So now I'm going to take the shade Violet Void. It's this dark purple. I've used this already once, a little bit on my lower lash line, but I want to use it again, this time all over my lid. So I'm going to take this on a brush. I'm not going to cut my crease. I'm just going to slap it right on there. I'm going to wet this as per usual. And I'm just going to put this all over my crease. If that is not the most beautiful purple shade, I don't know what is. I'm putting it all over the lid, really like brings out all the sparkle. There's so much dimension to her metallic shades, but the shade is so sparkly and delicious. Okay, so that's all over my lid. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Venomous Void and blend it out. The black base is strong on this one, like you can really tell it's fucking black under there. So smoky eye for sure. Interesting that I'm choosing this look to go to the grocery store to do grocery shopping. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of that and blend it on my lid as well. I just want it to be like very diffused and deep. I don't want it to be like super defined. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of that smoked amethyst shade and tap off the glitter. And then blend that into my crease as well. And then intensify my outer corner. And so now to really intensify the sparkle, I'm going to take more of the shade Violet Void on my finger and tap that all over my lid. And then now I'm going to take the shade Cosmic. It's a glittery pink and like gold duochrome. It shifts strongly to gold. That's actually super beautiful. Okay, let me show you this, if it will focus on my finger. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It's so pretty. And I'm going to tap this in the middle of my lid, just to brighten things up, add even more sparkle. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Venusian Orchid one more time and buff the edges of the eyeshadow, just because I think we lost some of that light pink. Okay, now again, I'm just going to quickly speed through my lower lash line. I'm just going to put Venomous Void all along my lower lash line and blend that out. And now I'm going to put Smoked Amethyst all along my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the Venusian Orchid shade and use that to blend everything out. I will say there is a little bit of fallout from the Violet Void shade, the sparkly purple. Just with the like glitter pieces though. But I think glitter fallout with these really glittery shades is kind of inevitable. And now, because I cannot help myself, I'm going to take the shade Fuchsia Shock. I used this, I think, in my first impressions. Yeah. And I'm going to, again, take that on the same brush, just brush it off. And then I'm going to spray that shade and put that right here on like the inner part of my lower lash line. Alright, and for my inner corners and brow bone, I'm just going to use my face highlighter. Today I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Blossom Glow. It's just a light pink. And then I'm going to put a little touch of that on my brow bone as well. Alright, so that's the eyeshadow done. For this look, I'm going to, again, pop off camera, liner, lashes, lips, and then I'll be back to conclude the video. Okay, everyone, and this is the finished look and also the conclusion of this video. I love this. It's incredibly smoky, which I'm not mad at. I really like it. I'm super happy that I was able to use this Smoked Amethyst shade as a matte. I appreciate having another shade that I can use to deepen looks up, because first of all, I guess I'll just go into my thoughts about this palette. I love it. I think it's amazing. I can't imagine not having it, and I've proceeded to make the back incredibly dirty with black eyeshadow. Welcome to my life. But now that I have this in my life, I can't imagine not having it in my life. I think this might have been one of the best purchases that I've made all of 2020. I am also now convinced that I love Pat McGrath's eyeshadows, which is an issue because now I want all of her palettes and I can't even afford to buy one of them. So RIP to me. But no, I just love this. I love the color story. I love everything about it. The only thing I will say is that moving forward when I use this palette, I think that I would use other palettes in conjunction with it, just because you are a little bit limited in terms of matte shades because they're all more or less very pink toned. And so for some of the more like bronzy shades, I think I would just use other matte shades from other palettes in conjunction with this palette. I don't think that doesn't bother me because I think generally this palette works very well together. It's very cohesive. I think there's a good range of depths. Even though there are only 3 matte shades, like 3 true matte shades, I think they're very well placed in this palette. I think they work really well with the color story. And there's something about the metallics and shimmer shades in this palette that are just so special, really so beautiful. There's something, and what I think it is that they're so sparkly. They just catch the light in a way that I think is very unique for the metallic shades that are on the market in general. I think maybe one of the only metallic formulas of eyeshadows that I've used that compares to this is JD Glow. I think it gives basically the same effect, and it's just, there's just so much sparkle and glitter, and it just looks so ethereal and beautiful in a way that I have rarely seen replicated, if at all. So as you can see, I love this palette. I think maybe if you don't like super sparkly eyeshadows, you might not like it. But I personally I just think this is so great. I have to go grocery shopping now and also film the intro, so I won't blabber on too much, but I really love this. I will also say I did get a comment about this on my first impressions video. I think you could use the ABH and Jackie Aina palette and get very similar looks. Does give really similar vibes. I'm thinking of potentially doing a video where I compare the two and maybe do 2 looks with them, or like one on one eye and one on the other. Although I feel like I don't want to make too much content surrounding this one specific palette, but I also kind of do want to only make content surrounding this one specific palette right now. But I think if you have the Jackie Aina palette, you can get incredibly similar looks to looks that you can create with this palette for sure. So you might not need both, but do I ever really need any more palettes? No. So that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see from me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, and that shade was pretty crumbly, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm gonna take the shade, what is this? Galactic Gold. And now on my lower lash line, the inner part of my lower lash line, I'm gonna take the shade, oh shit, what is this? I won't keep talking.